Yes, people, welcome back to the Combat Council. Today I'm joined by Luke and Craig to cover this past weekend of combat sports. It'll mainly be about the UFC, but we'll obviously touch on Darren's performance in Pinnacle boxing, which I'm sure Craig's got a lot of thoughts about. So, before we do start, Craig, what was your thought on Johnny Walker's performance at the weekend?
Oh, we're not doing this, Danny. We're not doing it. We're not doing it, mate.
Oh, it is. That was too funny. In case just none of you guys, if you have watched the video, Craig for some reason thought Johnny Walker was fighting on the card last weekend, and yeah, it was actually really funny.
If you haven't seen the clip, guys, go and watch it.
Yeah, but Luke, Craig, how are you both guys doing?
All good, mate. All good. How's it going, Danny?
All good, man. Luke with the Holland Champions League trophy picture.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a bit wet outside here, so yeah, we might need to talk for a while until the rain stops because I don't really want to go back inside in this weather.
But yeah, I'm just start with the UFC from this weekend. An early card for us Brits. I think the main card started at 12 p.m. UFC China, Song Yadong submits Figueiredo in the second round. Thoughts on his performance?
I'll go then. Go on. As Craig doesn't want to speak, he's suddenly gone mute now. He's got to actually give some ball knowledge. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic card in general. Really, I think the whole card was really good to watch. Really exciting. I think main event Song looked great. I think he showed he is one of the elite bantamweights in the world. Figgy, I didn't think was too bad, but Song was just a lot better than him. The submission was very clinical, very potent. He just got it there. I think overall, just fantastic card, great main event, and that's all I really have to say. I think it was a shame is early on. I prefer the late night ones, but great card other than that. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it was a bit of
Every-
a weird timing for us, wasn't it? Like I think what time did the main event start? Like 2 p.m. or something.
half
Yeah.
two, quarter past two, something like that. Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I think we all knew the way this was going to go. I mean, submission, I probably didn't see it that way, but Figueiredo has not looked his best for a while now, has he? Obviously, that Umar fight, he didn't look great at all. Song Yadong, like, I think he looked phenomenal against Sean O'Malley. Like we've seen him look good recently. I think it was an easy pick, but submission, he did look very good.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was going to actually be like a late finish. I didn't think it would go to decision, but a sub really surprised me. It was a really good sub
Yeah.
as well. And I thought the fight was actually a really competitive fight. It wasn't like, Song Yadong was totally dominating, but that sub came out of nowhere, to be honest. And I don't think any of us called that submission happening. Deiveson Figueiredo, I think in his last 5 fights, he's 1-4. His only win coming against Montel Jackson. Could be 2-3, but I'm pretty sure he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, which again, I think he thought going up to Bantamweight was going to be a good move for him. And yeah, I don't know what's next for him. But for Song Yadong, it's interesting one because looking at the Bantamweight division, especially after today, they booked Umar against David Martinez. Everyone's basically booked in that
Wait,
top
what?
eight.
They booked Umar's fighting.
Umar versus
I didn't even
David
know that.
Martinez is
What
the
card's
co-main
that
on
on,
the
Danny?
Abu Dhabi card. Yeah, so
Abu Dhabi.
because everyone else was basically booked. I had a look at the rankings, and David Martinez was the next guy who was, ranked and that could fight, and they decided to give him to Umar Nurmagomedov. So that's the co-main for the Abu Dhabi card, Umar against David Martinez. And obviously, we'll get on about another bantamweight later on in the show, Asakura. That could potentially be a fight for Figueiredo. Obviously, he will probably lose that, but I don't see any other fight for Figueiredo.
Yeah, I mean, you said quite a lot there. There's quite a lot. I don't really keep up with all of it. I think Song. I assumed they were going to do Song and Umar next. I thought that'd have been the logical fight, but clearly not.
Well, I don't know. I think Figgy. I think to be honest, mate, he's probably looking towards the end of his career now. And let's be honest.
38.
Yeah, you'll fight out his contract, won't he?
Yeah, and maybe they'll go towards the route of giving him the young killers.
Yeah, I think that's what's next. I thought he looked good enough against Song that he's still somewhat of a threat to these young guys, but they won't see him as a guaranteed win. But he's definitely someone they're going to give harder matchups to now. They're not going to be putting him in title eliminators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Having a look at the rankings right now, everyone's booked up until Marlon Vera, who I don't think's got a fight right now. Obviously, they're doing Bautista against Corey on the international fight week card. We've got Sean and Zahabi. Merab, who I think, will face Yan next. Who do you give Song Yadong next?
Well, I would have given him Umar, but he's gone now.
Will it be the
Would
winner
you
of
pull up-
Bautista against Corey, maybe?
Pull up the rankings, Danny, can you?
Well, I
I've got my
think
phone as well.
Sean's fighting Zahabi, isn't he, at the White House? So maybe he
Yeah.
could fight Zahabi if Zahabi loses or if Zahabi wins. he can't fight Sean again. Maybe he could fight Merab, although I think Merab's got a broken nose, so we'll see.
I think Song's in a bit of a weird position though, like because I
Yeah.
mean, there was quite a lot. There was quite a lot of people that scored that O'Malley fight to Song. Like,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
competitive.
if he'd have won that and then he'd won that fight on the weekend, he'd be looking at a title shot, which is mad, really.
Yeah, I think he's in that weird category where he's not. You can't really justify giving him a title shot next, but he's right there, isn't he? And if there's no one else, maybe who could sneak a title shot, like JDM sort of did. Maybe if Umar or like say Merab pulls out last minute, I think he could maybe sneak a title shot. So you never know.
I mean, yeah, like you said, Luke, I think Umar and Song should have been the fight.
Yeah, that made perfect sense. I guess they've already made it, and the Abu Dhabi card's too soon for Song to turn around. Obviously, Umar's a big name in that region.
I'm just
but
confused as to why
yeah.
they're giving Umar number 9.
Well, it's 'cause they-
who did he face, though? He's got no one else on the roster right now.
Well, they had to put him on that card, didn't they? Because
exactly.
Because it's in the UAE, they'll want a name like him on there. So it's just finding whoever's free.
And David Martinez is on a streak right now. Obviously, he beat Font and then he beat Vera early on this year. So it's not a bad fight to make, but I do obviously favour Umar to get the job done.
Yeah, but that's 2 fights in a row for Umar now. Where he's fighting guys who are nowhere near where he should be fighting. Let's be real.
Yeah. The thing is, I think if Merab won, the Umar v Merab rematch would have been something they would have done straight away. But with Yan winning, you got to give Merab that rematch, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think Umar and Sean are the next guys lingering around, and it depends who wins that trilogy, who gets the next title shot. So we'll see about that. I think, obviously, if Merab wins the trilogy, it'll be Umar next, and if Yan wins, they'll probably do O'Malley next, I don't know.
Yeah, but for Song Yadong, I'd actually give him the winner of Corey against Bautista. I think that's a great fight to make, and I don't think he's fought any of them before, if I remember correctly. So that's probably
Is that fight not for another 6 weeks,
That's the international fight week. It's like, what, 2 months?
Yeah, so if that's 2 months, if they then want time off to recover and stuff, that could be a while. I think the Zahabi fight maybe.
Do we have an idea of when they're going to do Merab rematch?
I think they're going to do it September, probably. I think it'll be the co-main to Volk, whoever as the main event. I personally think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's most likely. Talking about Song, they've got another card in China, haven't they? Is that in August? So you might headline that.
Late August, yeah.
Yeah, so you could headline that. I think the fight in general was actually, I thought it was fairly competitive until the finish. It was bubbling quite nicely. It was a shame it ended that soon because I thought they were both looking quite good on the feet. It was quite a technical, cagey matchup. So for it to end the way it did, it was a bit premature, but Song deserves a win, so I can't really moan.
Another prospect, Peyton Talbot, has he got fight booked or not? I'm sure he has.
Yeah, he's on the International Fight Week, isn't he?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have a fight booked. I remember seeing this on Twitter a few days ago. Yeah, he doesn't have a fight.
I wonder who he faces.
Wait, is he? What's he ranked now?
He's 11th.
Who did he beat last
I
time?
thought he was high.
Cejudo was it? He beat.
Yeah. I thought he was higher than 11th, but I suppose that makes sense. Maybe they could do Song v Peyton Talbot in China or something. I guess Peyton they probably want to keep in America, but
I think Song is in a really tough in a really tough place in the rankings. Like he can't fight above him because everyone's booked, and below him is like, what's next?
Yeah.
Peyton Talbot.
Well, they'll figure something out. I think he'll probably fight Zahabi in China or someone like that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but another Chinese guy didn't do too well. Was a guy in the co-main, wasn't he?
Yep, he got knocked out in the first round against Alonzo Menifield. I mean, Zhang, when he joined the UFC it must have been the road to China, I think, when they do them events they did last week. He looked really good on there. And he came to the UFC, I think he knocked out Anthony Smith in his first fight. And since then, obviously, last year's event against Johnny Walker was tailor-made for him, to get that victory and become one of the top 5-10 light heavyweights. And obviously, he made a big mess out of that, got a finish in the second round. And again, this is another fight. Alonzo Menifield isn't really the greatest of fighters, and you're like, surely he gets a win here. And no, it was a case of who was going to catch, who first. I think Luke said in the show, whoever basically catches there first, they're probably going to, fall and lose. So in this case, Alonzo Menifield just caught Zhang, and he got knocked out.
They've tried to lay him up twice, haven't they? They're obviously desperate for stars in Asia because it's such a big market, and it's twice now they've tried to give him that big win against a ranked guy, and he's failed both times. So I think if you're the UFC now, you've got to start losing faith in him a little bit, haven't you?
100%. Craig, any thoughts? No, he's going to mute.
Nah.
But yeah, I think
Okay.
looking at his record right now, he obviously won Road to UFC, one fight there. Then he won 3 in a row. He beat Brenson Ribeiro, Ozzy Diaz, and Anthony Smith. And then obviously he's lost to Johnny Walker and Alonzo Menifield now. So like, who do you give him now?
Right,
I
this is my time. This is my time to shine, lads. Johnny Walker.
No, I mean,
but we should have known. We should have known what Zhang Mingyang is when he lost to Johnny Walker, because that performance was shocking.
It was, yeah.
And I think he was like minus 1,000 or something, or betting wise, like. And
yeah,
as
he's
well,
big favourite for this as well.
I'm sure he had like 7 or 8 losses pre-UFC.
So when he joined the UFC, he was, let me have a look right now, he was 15-6.
15-6, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a shocking record, like. And when he joined the UFC, he knocked out loads of bums.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I don't really care about this guy. I don't particularly rate him. I'm not really interested in what he does next. I think the UFC, as I said, they try to push him because he's from China and there's a big market. So I'm just not interested in this guy at all, to be honest. But I'm sure he'll be on the Shanghai card.
Yeah. Moving on to
I think for Menifield, quick though, I don't think that getting him that win is going to sort of push him forward in the UFC's eyes.
Yeah.
He's gonna get some other contender. They're just gonna line up for him. That's what's gonna happen for him next.
Yeah, like his fight before this, he lost to Volkan Ozdemir, and I think he'll win one, lose one, to be around that, ranking. So yeah, that's about it. Obviously, moving on to Luke's boy in the heavyweight bout, Pavlovich knocks out Teixeira in the first round. Listen, I thought we'd go to decision. I didn't think Pavlovich would knock out Teixeira like he did, but his power's back. And
yeah, that's because you know absolutely nothing about MMA. But let's be real.
Okay, you said the main event will go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And
That's a logical prediction. Pavlovich, the absolute Iceman.
Pavlovich
icing everyone in a minute.
He hasn't knocked out anyone in 3 years though, so listen, that was
he's fighting elite guys. This Tallison Teixeira guy
is a boom. I think he beat Teixeira last fight, which is nothing to be honest.
Yeah, but that was a proper uncle at the barbecue fight. That was always going to end with Pavlovich putting this guy on his head after about a minute. And yeah, Pavlovich, I don't know if I'd say he's back, but he's certainly got his power and he's got his hands as he's always had. So
I think if he keeps fighting guys this level, he'll knock him out. He'll knock him out for fun. But it's when he reaches that, level above that.
It's just Volkov. I think Volkov's just a hard stylistic matchup. That's why everyone's like going. He hasn't lost his power or lost his hands. He's just a stiff guy, Pavlovich. So when he's fighting a guy who's super long and rangy, he can't close the distance. That's the problem. It's not a case of power.
Yeah, maybe it could be that.
I mean, like we've seen Pavlovich whenever he lands that 1-2 on someone's chin, they go down. So
they do.
Yeah, he's the man, Pavlovich. I think he's not a guy you'd want to face, no matter who you are in the heavyweight division. Even Aspinall wouldn't want to rematch him.
But you know what I think with Pav? I think he lost a lot of confidence after that Aspinall knockout. I think he was blasting through everybody. He gets sparked inside a minute by Aspinall. Like, you are going to lose a bit of confidence.
I think partly that, but I think he's just fought with Waldo. Waldo's super durable. Like, Waldo's an absolute unit. He can take a shot. And Volkov, stylistically, as I said, he's a very rangy guy. I think they're just hard guys to knock out. Pavlovich is always going to have. He's not the quickest guy with his feet. He can't close the distance like someone like Aspinall Garn can. But I don't really buy into this whole that he's magically turned into a bad fighter overnight. I think he's still got what it takes to be a champion.
A champion? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't personally think he can be champion, but I see him around.
Why not?
Rankings. He seems like a Curtis Blades kind of guy to me who always bottle.
Nice Curtis Blades. You put him upside down, mate.
I know, but I mean, not like similar fighters. I just think he'd always be that guy that'll get that number 1 contender shot, bottle it, and then be some other kind. You get what I mean? I get
what you mean. But I think I'm not saying he will be champion, but I definitely think he has potential. There's not many people I'd back against him. The only people I'd back against him are people who are really quick. They're the people I'd back against him.
Like but how would you match up Alex Pereira against Pavlovich?
I think Alex Pereira is probably he's very long. He's very quick. He knows how to move around and stuff like that. I know people traditionally see him as a guy who stands up quite tall and he's quite stiff and stationary. But I think against Pavlovich, he would move a bit more. I would probably expect him just to pick him off for those calf kicks and move around.
Again, I'm surprised we haven't seen by now Cyril Gane against Pavlovich. I thought Gane could, cause him problems like Volkov did.
Gane's ducked him loads.
Yeah, I know that fight should have been made so many times.
I think Gane's way too quick and slick on his feet for Pavlovich.
Yeah, I just don't see Pavlovich catching him.
You think so? The difference, though, I'd say, is I feel like with Gane, he doesn't have that knockout power that Pavlovich has. He lands lots of shots and hard shots, but all his finishes are sort of, you'll land a 10-punch combo. Pavlovich can just turn your lights out. I think at that level, that can be the difference.
But to be honest, you could say the same thing when you fought Volkov and he didn't win that.
No, but Volkov's like 7 foot tall. He's just so rangy, isn't he?
What would you give next to Pavlovich then?
No, it's just whoever's available, isn't it? We'll see what happens with the White House. Probably the loser of Pereira and Gane.
Maybe. That's not a bad fight to make.
Yeah, it just depends who's next. Hockett's obviously on that card. Maybe
what sort of streak is Pavlovich on now? 2, 3?
3, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they'd give him Hockett, so I think he'd probably knock Hockett out because Hockett likes to stand and trade, and the UFC want to build Hockett up now. But I think if Gane or Pereira are the loser of that, that'd be the perfect next fight. Well, God knows why they want to build Hockett up.
The thing is, I just don't see him ever being champion. He just doesn't have that power, man.
He's young though. He's like 28, isn't he?
Yeah. But do you think?
But mate, why is he not fighting at 205?
Well, clearly he thinks he's better at heavyweight. I don't know.
I mean, he should have got Curtis Blades out there. Like, if that was any other heavyweight, he's out there. But obviously, he doesn't have that one punch power that a lot of heavyweights do. So, yeah.
No, but he has definitely got a good gas tank for heavyweight. The amount of shots he threw that fight was ridiculous. I think what I was saying about building him up, you got to remember this guy in January was fighting on the early prelims of the first Paramount card. Not many people knew who he is. By the end of this month, he'll have had 3 fights, probably 3 wins, 4 at the White House, 4 on big pay-per-view cards. He's absolutely stole the show this year. He's unquestionably a breakout star.
Josh Hockett's biggest fan on the pod.
Exactly, mate. There's probably loads of them.
I remember watching Josh Hockett on the Dana Contender Series last August.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect him to be fighting Derek Lewis on the White House card.
What did you think of his? He did call out a lot of people and say stuff which he shouldn't have said. But he's, as I said, I think I said on the January preview that he has the personality to really be a star. And I didn't expect him to blow up this fast, but he has. And,
no, but mate, he doesn't. Luke, he doesn't. It's all too manufactured, man.
Yeah, but people.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Colby Covington coming up.
Yeah, but again, like Colby, people paid attention. That White House press
Colby
conference.
Was never a star, Luke. Never a star.
He got 4 pay-per-view main events out of it, even though he kept losing.
And they did well because Usman was a dominant champ. That was why.
No, but he sold them. The Masvidal one would never have been a pay-per-view if he wasn't a gobby guy. Leon had never got that title shot if he wasn't a big name. Your big name gets your opportunities. The same way Hockett just got a pay-per-view fight against Blades. Now he's got a White House fight against Lewis. But
it just grinds my gears, man.
But that White House press conference was absolutely dead until he stood up and started making a fool of himself. That's what we need. We need characters.
Yeah. Let's get back into the card and not get off topic. Someone who needed a win, who absolutely needed a win, in style, to be honest. Asakura knocked out Cameron Smotherman in the first round. I thought it was a fantastic finish. Exactly what he needed. Fighting at his natural weight. He even said it afterwards in a video, this is where I want to be. I'm enjoying this. I think, when he fought Pantoja, the UFC just needed a new contender. And, him coming over from Japan was a massive deal. And I think that's why they did it. Obviously, against Tim Elliott, didn't go his way. I think that was down to grappling. But Asakura, give him strikers all day long, and I think he'll be good in the UFC. So a massive win for him.
Yeah, I mean, that little blitz he did to get a knockout was insane, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a great performance. But again, guys, we've got to look at why did he get a title shot on his debut? That was insane.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it, to be honest, because I think at that time, Pantoja just fought like Usyk. There wasn't really anyone for him to fight, so I'd rather them give it to him than just, some unranked guy in the UFC.
I mean, yeah, I was fine with them getting the title shot, to be honest. I don't think it was a massive deal. Like Luke said, the flyweight division at that time wasn't the most stacked. Obviously, he just fought a second after that. There were many contenders. So I was fine for that, to be honest. I think the flyweight division right now is in much better state. And
Also, one thing we need to point out: the UFC, what they like doing is when they sign people from other promotions. I don't think I've ever seen someone mention this, but this is definitely what they do. So they did it with Chandler, Kayla Harrison, Asakura, Pico. They give
Patchy
them
Mix. Patchy Mix.
No, not Patchy Mix. They didn't do this with him. What I'm about to say is they give them title shots or number one contender fights, so they don't have to pay them that much. Then obviously, if they win and become champ, that's when they make the real money. So it's almost a case of PFL paid you this much, we'll pay you slightly less, but if you win, you're going to earn way more. So it's almost like a way of getting these guys for cheap. I think that's what they do a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, but
because
how do
I
you know
do
what they're
remember
paying them?
Chandler knocking out Hooker and then getting Charles
Yeah.
Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title.
Yeah. So same thing happened. Pico had a number one contender fight. I think Harrison, obviously, she did, but she's like way better and stuff like that.
Who did Pico? Oh, Little Murphy. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Kanaev, he had the same against Curtis Blades, didn't he, from PFL? So they do it a lot. There's quite a lot of examples of it where they just bring people over and chuck them in these big fights, but it usually doesn't go the new guy's way.
Yeah.
Pitbull's another one, I think. Is it Pitbull? Did he fight Yair?
Yeah. Was that his
Yeah.
debut?
So, I don't know if it was debut. I can't remember, but I know they
Nami.
gave him. Yeah, but I know they do it a lot where they
Yeah,
give these guys from other
Pitbull fought
promotions.
here on his debut, I'm sure.
Yeah, see, that's another example. There's loads of examples you can find. They bring these guys in and then they sort of, they give them these number one contender fights. It's their way of like getting them cheaper, basically.
Yeah.
Back
Well,
to
like I said,
back to Asakura. I mean, yeah, I thought his performance was really good.
yeah, 100%. And obviously, they're losing the main event. I think that's the fight to make. Asakura against Figueiredo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm not. Yeah, it's fine. I think with Asakura though is he's took a big step down. Like each fight, he's gone a long way. So to jump back up to Figueiredo, it is a big jump, and you don't want him losing again now.
How old is he, Asakura?
He must be quite old if he was champion risen.
Let me have a look.
If I had to guess, like 34.
32.
No, he's not that old.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he's got a couple years. I think he's a fun addition to the division, isn't he?
How old is he?
Yeah, but I think Figueiredo's coming, down. I think Asakura is probably the guy you can, maybe give him in the rankings. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't watch any else of the card, but so I can't really talk about the rest. But I thought it was a really good card. And I think the last couple months, the UFC now have had, I'd say most of the cards have been very good. I think there's been a lot of criticism about the start of the year, but I really think the last couple months now has really picked up. And I think the summer we're looking at a generational run here. So
I actually missed the first fight, but when I put the first fight on, I'd seen Alex Perez just puking up. I was like, what has happened here? I was so confused.
Yeah. I didn't see any of the fights, but I heard he was like pretending to be sick to get out of the fight.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was up on 2 scorecards in the first round, so I was like, did you need to pretend? I don't know. But yeah. Alex Perez is a really weird one. Just pulls out so many fights, and when this fight, there's all the shenanigans in it. So yeah, whatever. I didn't catch any of the prelims, to be honest. I don't know if you guys did. I doubt you did.
No, I didn't watch that, but what I did watch was Darren Till get dropped by a bloke from reality.
Oh my
TV.
this was so funny.
Go on, Craig. Craig, take the floor away, mate.
Go on.
We're on to Darren Till, mate.
Boys, right,
basically, for those of you who don't know, Darren Till once made eye contact with Craig, and now they're best mates, apparently.
Go on.
Now, I've known Till for a while, actually, Luke. And let me just say, by the way, he didn't even get dropped in that first round. He didn't even get dropped.
It's a tough one. I don't know if you can count that as a knockdown or not.
Why? His knee hit the floor, didn't it?
I think they did count it, but it shouldn't have been counted.
To me,
it was a great. By the way, that was a great shot from Chalmers.
It was
great shot.
At first, it looked like he slipped, like he didn't actually get rocked. But on the replay, it looked like he might have actually just got rocked.
The punch definitely landed, though.
It landed, yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't hurt. Like you could tell, he wasn't hurt.
Oh yeah, he just got straight back up.
Can we just talk about that shot in a second? Oh my god!
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. He couldn't get back up. Amazing shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think if we were honest, it was a bit of a mismatch, but he definitely Yeah, he won the fighting style, didn't he?
Just talking
Well,
about bare
apparently,
knuckle. Go on, Craig.
apparently, Luke, they offered him loads. They offered Till loads, and he said yes to everyone, and nobody would accept the fight apart from Charles.
Yeah. It's clear that Till, he's in Misfits, it's tough for him to get a fight because he's legit, or he's certainly good enough to beat any of these big names. So the big names don't want to fight him; they'd rather fight someone bigger who pays more money, whatever. So I think he's clearly struggled at Misfits, and I don't see anyone wanting to fight him bare knuckle.
I was gonna say this.
Although
I think this promo, I think this promotion doesn't get any hype, but bare knuckle is entertaining to watch, man. It is really entertaining.
Mate,
I
I've been there
watched
since
Darren-
day one. It's great.
I watched the downhill fight, and then I stuck around for the main event, and I actually watched the main event. I thought it was a really entertaining squad.
I remember
I
watching
went
it
to
like 5 years ago, thinking, "Who the hell is sanctioning this?" And then they're like, "Oh, the sanctioning body of Ohio or some crap," and they were like the only
It's
they were
really
the only
entertaining,
sanctioning
man.
body doing it. I was like,
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
"Yeah, go on."
I went to watch bare knuckle in Newcastle because I got media for it.
Okay.
This is coming up to 2 years ago, but oh my god, mate, that sport, watching it live, like cage side, oh my god, number one, it's brutal, and number two, it's so entertaining.
It is.
Yeah.
Really entertaining.
You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Because it's just knockdowns galore. It's just the fight can just end whenever.
Really good. Really
Speaking of Till, Luke, I don't know if you watched the press conference in the week for this fight, but one of your countrymen actually piped up with Darren Till. He said, "Oh, Darren, I would have fought you. It was John Phillips."
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, well, maybe see that fight next because he won.
Yeah, but he's good. That John Phillips, he's fucking really good.
Yeah, I saw the knockout and I saw he was like flipping the bird at the guy's wife after and stuff. Yeah, he's a decent fighter. I just remember Hamzat running through him in the UFC. That's like the last memory I have of him in MMA.
They might make that next Till versus Phillips. Yeah.
I mean, if he says he wants it, then let's go for it. I think he probably wants the money more than the fight. But I just think Darren Till's nuts. They're absolutely massive. That guy just fights any rules, anyone. And he seems to do quite well. So fair play to him.
Anything else you guys want to cover before we wrap up?
There's Adam Azim as well. We haven't talked about that. I didn't watch the fight because it was a complete joke. I mean, Boxer have just got no money, so they've had to pay some random cleaner from the local boxing gym to get in the ring. But I think Adam Azim's really good.
He should not have been in there with Azim, should he?
Yeah, bro, Adam Azim absolutely battered him. That guy looked like he needed a hospital. I'm sure he went to the hospital after that, but that was a beating.
Are we ever going to get Dalton Smith against Adam Azim?
But we need that fight for such a long time. We still haven't got it.
Well, Eddie will not make that fight because I think the financially, like neither of those guys. I think Dalton Smith, his last fight got cancelled because of injury, which is always a bit suspicious. So we don't know how many tickets he sold. Azim's not a big ticket seller, so I don't think Eddie would put up the money for that. And Ben Shalom just simply doesn't have the money. That's why he's got this guy. I think the Boxer had just fallen off a cliff if it was ever on one. But I think Azim's definitely going to be a world champion one day.
He's quality. I really rate him.
He's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we got any UFC to cover this weekend or not?
Yeah, we'll do that in the next video.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to end it. So, cheers for listening to the review. We're about to film a preview now, so keep your eyes peeled for when that comes out. Over and out.
Yeah, obviously just keep liking, subscribing. Subscribe to the Combat Council, and we'll see you next time.